Good morning and welcome. It's another Monday. It's the 26th of June. And just like to say thank you very much for the likes and subscriptions. Appreciate them. AUD USD. We've had a little bit of strength on the AUD USD the last couple of days. The commitment of traders are short, and that's 2.2 to 1 short. We've seen a little bit of weakness on the dollar. That's reflected in the DXY. As we've seen the last few days, it's just come down slightly, and it has moved below the support there. So a little bit of the reason for it. But if you look at the USD index, which is on the commitment of traders, we have had a really heavy bullish signal on the commitment of traders for the US dollar. So that is the most bullish they have been for the last 12 months, maybe even 18 months. So we will see what we will see on that. Let's just have a quick look. What we got next? Yeah, basically on the we're coming up to resistance on the RSI. This is my resistance line that I've put in here. I think it's going to go through that. It keeps trying to push through this resistance here. The next big resistance is 7674. That's major turning points. It's only 80 pips up. I think we might just quite make that, and then I'm going to put a position short on the Australian dollar, US dollar. I've got 3 small positions here, but I mean I'm going to put a fairly heavy position short there. AUD Japanese yen. Well, I'm actually short here at about 84, 150. We've had a little bit of strength the last 2 days in the Australian dollar, as I said before, but on the commitments of traders, we have a 4% divergence short. So the AUD is 2.2 short, and the Japanese yen is 2.5 long. So overall, that gives us a 4.7 short. That's my maths is correct. Yes. So might see this little bit of strength continue for a couple of days. I've marked resistance on the RSI. I think it might just come up and over. When you go up and over like that, that's quite a strong sell signal. That's like uniform action above the resistance line. Either it goes up in a spike or it just curls over like a serpent. So you get equal and you get uniform action above the resistance line. So we'll hang on to that, see how that goes. But the commitment to traders are 4.7 short on the AUD Japanese yen. The euro dollar obviously was short this pair. The divergence on it, sorry, not divergence, euro is 1.4. So we are expecting quite a big move down on the euro. We're euro bears. I've gone outside the trend lines. It hasn't really done anything today. We'll see how it gets on the rest of the week. Euro Japanese yen. Yes, well, very disappointing. I was hoping this would short, but it hasn't. So the divergence on this is 3.9. This has gone up today basically about 50 pips. Not all that worried about it. Quite often before these things fall, that they do have a little spurt on the long side, not exactly unexpected. Hopefully it'll come down later today. We're still below the 69.1, which is basically means sideways action. This has been going down in following the trend lines, I don't expect much strength in the euro. If you look at the inflation figures for the euro, they're not great, and that basically shows that the eurozone is not doing all that well. And you know, I just don't expect any strength in it. I can't see where it's going to come from. Did I say divergence on that one was 3.9? Yeah. New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. Now this has got a fabulous divergence on it of 7.3. Obviously I'm short. I should have put short on the end of that. 7.3. I actually put a little token trade in this morning. That's a very small trade. I've marked the resistance just above it. This, if we go just historically, if you go right the way back, you can't see it, it's just off the chart, but this is fairly stiff resistance, stroke turning points, and yeah, we've got a few you can see over here, but just above it, that there is even more resistance. So basically, I don't think there's a lot of upside left in this, and I've got a small trade in, and I will be watching that over the coming weeks. Silver, it got above the resistance, and it sort of popped back down onto it, using it as support. I think this has got a little bit more of the upside to go, and then I'm going to get back into it short. The stochastic still pointing up. We've gone flat, maybe a little bit down on the RSI, and we've come and touched the trend line. I'll just move that slightly out the way. I'm going to give that a couple more days, see how we get on with it. Oil. This has had a little bit of a correction. I want to see how far this will go, and I will go short again. I got out a bit too quickly, perhaps. I got out of bad up here. So yeah, I'm looking for this to pop back up over the next couple of days, and then I'm going to be back short it. I can't see much long side in that at all. S&P 500, this has actually popped up a little bit. This is a weekly chart, and when I looked at it first thing this morning, basically it was just observing this resistance here. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth week where we haven't actually gone above. It's 24.41. I've got that at. So we will see how that goes. Sorry, excuse me, get my teeth in. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. This is short. It's just turned short. I don't know if people will remember from last week, and I'll move this out the way so as we can all see what's happening. There you go. I actually moved that because I put in, whoa, and it seems to have disappeared. I put in heavy resistance, which was about here. Historic turning point. It's about 80 pips up, I believe. Let me just have a look. It's not far away. Well, 90 pips up. So basically, we're at resistance where we are anyway, but there's a turning point just above it. The commitment of traders have turned heavily short the New Zealand dollar. We're below the 69.1. The stochastic is at fairly high, but is still pointing up. There might be a little bit more upside in this, but basically I'm looking to short it. Right, there we go. USD CAD, I am long this. It's come down onto fairly stiff support. I really can't see any more long upside in the Canadian dollar. So basically, I think the Canadian dollar is going to come down with the oil price, and we're going to see the USD gaining a little bit more strength in the coming weeks. So that's why I'm long this pair. Euro, British pound, Euro GBP. The divergence on this is 3 short. So I've got a position in here. I'm just slightly in profit. We've got stiff resistance just above it, and I'm looking for this to follow through, and this is my target down here, 83, 84. So that's where I am with this. This is quite a cheap trade actually, not a lot of swaps on it. Pound New Zealand dollar. Again, I got in this a couple of weeks back. It is quite a cheap trade, not much swaps. The divergence on this is 6.4 long. So we've come down onto fairly stiff support at the moment, and I believe there's just upside from here. I can't really see any disasters looming on the horizon. We've not quite gone to the 30.9. We've bounced off it a few times on the RSI. So I think this has got this is going to go long. We've been down on the 30.9 below and now back above for about 3 weeks. So that should follow through, I think. USD, Japanese yen, we're short. A little bit of strength today, which I'm surprised. Probably a bit of weakness in the Japanese yen, but we've had weakness in the dollar as well. Got a little bit of a green candle, nothing much. I dare say it's only 10 or 15 pips. We've come up against resistance about where we're at. I just think he's going to fall back through. He's looking very tired, but I'd just like to see it go below the 50 on the RSI. So we're actually on the yen. It's 2.5 long the yen. So we are expecting this pair to short. Mexican peso. We lost a lot of the shorts on the Mexican peso. We've had now 3 red candles. I've just come down to where I sold my my long. So I've been out of it a few days. I've saved myself some money, and I'm back really at where I was. The commitment of traders is long the pair, short the Mexican peso. 1.7. 1.7 is the ratio of shorts to longs. So we're still pointing down on the RSI. I could really do, and the stochastic. Not really a time for getting back into it. We'll have a look at that again tomorrow. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching, and you know, anybody who wants to look at my members center, it's forexforsteadyprofit.com. Have a quick look, see what you think, and that should be up and running by the end of the month.